Thank you very much for that amazing introduction. And I really look forward to talking to you today, Tuso, and to just learn more about your work and what you're inspired mostly about. So, I'm just gonna get into it. You get to tell so many stories of a variety of characters as an actress. How do you get into these complex characters that can be so meaningful to many people, like your character from Underground Railroad or The Woman King?
So I think for me, it could be a pro and a con. I'm very picky about the type of work that I do. I've had, conversations with my directors in the past where I ask them, oh my gosh, I'm not working right now. Am I being too picky? But, they encourage me because I'm intentional about the projects that I do. I need them to be impactful, and I need them to spur others and for people to see a change, a practical change that they can apply in their everyday lives, right? And that can look like different things. This doesn't mean then, I only do serious roles, which maybe are in the drama space, that you get people crying all the time. Like The Woman King, people enjoy it for because it's lighter than the Underground Railroad. Underground Railroad made you do a lot of introspection. It was heart wrenching. The performances were so deep. The subject matter was so heavy. The Woman King as well deals with a heavy subject matter, but in a lighter way. It's a film that you can genuinely enjoy, but it has people reflecting. Like right now, we're getting feedback, from audiences at large about how they feel after watching The Woman King. They feel empowered. They feel fearless. They feel like there's nothing that they cannot do. And that's what I aim to do with my work. I want people to see themselves in the characters that I can take on and see how they can then go out into the world and make an actual change.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I think you're doing a very good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Trying my best at every turn. Okay, then. But with you, so the extent of the impact of that your advocacy has created is absolutely incredible, and you've done it at such a young age. Um, you know, while many young other advocates wish to create social change, they might not always know where to start. So, can you share with us and, with fellow young change makers, some advice on ways to advocate for gender justice in their own communities?
Well, I would say it can be pretty hard when you're a young person just trying to put your ideas out there because everybody will be like, maybe you're too young to do these things. We can listen to you because you're very young. But what I can tell my fellow youths is that we should just get involved when there's several activities that are going on in our communities. We should always take part and just be there, even if you're not having like a big role. Just you being there, just it makes a difference. And when you also need to be talking to different people. Don't just choose that, okay, maybe because I stay in this type of neighborhood, I should only speak to people in my neighborhood, or I go to this school, that means I should only talk to the students at that particular school. So you just associating yourself with different people, different youths from your community is also one way of getting engaged, and how one way a step of um, your advocacy journey. And another thing can also be that you need to be confident in what you're doing and what you're saying. When people see that you're passionate about something, that's when they begin to get interested in the things that you're doing. That, okay, maybe we should try and listen to this person, because they're always there, and that it shows that they're really motivated um to bring difference in their communities. And lastly, I'd say, telling stories. Storytelling is really powerful, and it's something that you use it as well in your acting. And I think when you're telling your story, when you're sharing your story with others, other people can relate to what you're saying, and then they'll see where you're coming from with the ideas that you have. So um the way I'm very passionate about women and girls education or trying to end poverty, I share my story with others as well, that this is where I'm coming from and this is why I'm very passionate about this thing. So when people hear my story, they also, some of them also relate to it and be like, okay, because she shared her story, I can also share mine, and we can bring this change together. We can make this impact together. So I'd say that's one of the things that you need to do for you to be able to advocate for anything at all that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be just gender
Yeah.
justice.
So basically, in summary, it's do it, get started, do it, do it confidently, and don't be afraid to, open up your heart and share your story, because that is what will reach someone else, right?
Very true.
Yes. Love
Yes.
that. I love it, and I agree with it.
Thank you very much. So, for you too, so what is something that inspires you to tell the stories that you tell as an actress? Because storytelling in all mediums can have a huge impact on how audiences view different groups, issues, and movements.
For me, it really is about fulfilling a purpose for which I believe I was created for, which is to help those who cannot help themselves. Um, I was raised by my grandmother. My sister and I didn't have any parents, and so I recognize that had it not been for my grandmother, my life could have turned out completely differently. So I want to be for others that which our grandmother was for us. And it was early on in my high school career when I actually decided that I want to continue with drama that I saw the healing power of storytelling. It was a situation where, I had an outside audience view our exam and have them weep after a performance that I did on a poem that I wrote. It wasn't supposed to be anything fancy. I was just like you said, I was sharing my heart. I was telling my story, and they really connected with that. And so I was like, okay, I can use drama as, a tool for social change. And that's what I set out to do going forward. And so with the stories that we're telling, it's about connecting with people, having people connect with each other, being a voice to the voiceless. Like, again, with the partnership with Paramount Plus, we've got specific pillars that we speak to, which is equity, climate, and health. These are things that aren't commonly talked about in our storytelling spaces, but these are things that, especially for Africa, need a light to shine on them, because some of these things are taboo because of ignorance. And if you don't deal with them, you're unable to change what's happening within your society. And so that is very important for me to be aware of as I, pursue my career.
That's amazing. And I think you can tell stories in different ways, as you said, poetry, that it can
Exactly.
be anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So, all right, that's great.
Okay, cool. And I want to know, because you're so young, you're still studying, but you're heavily involved in so many things. It's not just Girl Up that you're involved with. You have other organizations. I want you to talk about those a little bit, and then tell us, how do you stay, motivated in pursuing that what you're doing, but also how do you maintain a balance in your life with all of these causes that you're so passionate about?
All right, so I really love to work with just different organizations. Anything that involves me giving back to the community and me just bringing change and just bringing change in people's lives is something that I'll always get involved in. So for me, my work with Operation Smile, it just started off like as a volunteer. My school dean just called me aside, and I was like, I thought I was in trouble the first time he called me, and then he was like, I think you should be part of Operation Smile Malawi. They're having a medical mission, and you'd be great, like if you just joined that team. So I joined, and then I was just a student translator, and then I could see what they were doing, and performing free surgeries on people that were born with a cleft and palate condition, and just bringing back the hope that they had lost. And that being something that I'm also passionate about, just bringing change in people's lives, I really got interested in this, and I was like, this is not gonna be my last mission, or like just the first and last mission that I'll attend, and I'm willing to just take part in every single activity that they're having. So I just continued like through the platform that Girl Up had given me. I could fundraise with the Girl Up Club, and then would donate to Operation Smile. So these donations would go to the patients because they come from all around the country. So we would help them with the little that would get from individuals, and then would help them with that. So if so a lot of people, I would post on my social media, and then people would come in my DM and be like, oh, there's this thing happening and I think you should take part. And every single time I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I'm really used to doing these things, and something that always motivates me to continue to do this is my background, my story. So, with everything that I've faced and me facing them at a very young age, I'm sure that there's also some other young girls like myself that have gone through different challenges that they don't even know they don't have any hope at all. So I just want to be that person for those people that don't have anyone at all. So that's one of the things that really motivates me to just continue pushing and continue moving.
That's beautiful. And this might sound cliche or cheesy, but you have an amazing smile. Just by the
Thank you
way,
very
you
much.
do. You really, really do.
Thank you. So, Tuso, what does it mean for you to be part of multiple projects involving strong women of color?
It's amazing. Because we all have something of value to add. Unfortunately, history has never been on our side when it comes to giving us the opportunities to do that. But I am surrounded by strong, very capable, very creative, very supportive women, which makes me feel, very humbled, but also very privileged because I know that this is not the fact for a lot of people. I don't take it for granted. I am constantly, I've put myself in a place where I am open to learning. I never want to feel like I've arrived somewhere. I can always learn from the next person. Like even working with Viola Davis, she's got a wealth of knowledge, but when she comes into a new space, she's open to learning. And so I want to be the same. I never want to feel like, oh no, only I can do A, B, and C. I delegate this, delegate that. It's like, as long as we're living, as long as we're evolving, we're learning and growing. And I'm grateful to have a group of amazing women supporting me and wanting what's best for me, supporting my dreams of wanting to help others in the manner that it's happening.
Thank you, Tuso, for this amazing conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you. Now, I guess we can pass it back to our MCs.